into the studio. It's Froyle here and I'm so glad you've joined me. I'm really excited today because I just bought myself a pack of 100 colours. Now, a few weeks ago I did a Meaden Art Honest review and it was really honest. I put these paints to the test. They reached out, they asked me to review their paint products and I was very happy to. I really loved the metallic paints. I used the pastels. I had a look at the basic range and then the gleaming paints. I did some paint swatches. They look absolutely beautiful. Loved them. The pastel ones are really buttery. They feel really nice. Metallic ones are beautiful and thin and transparent. Wasn't fussed on the gleaming paints, but meh, we can't all like everything now, can we? I did a couple of image transfers and even those prints turned out fabulous. Now I was testing for Gelli printing because that's my bag. That's what I'm into at the moment and I'm completely obsessed with it. So after that I had a look on Amazon and I saw that there's a pack of 100 colours. It's $50, so that's like $2 a tube. And if you look at the tubes, yes, they are about a $2 size because they're quite small. But I went ahead and purchased them anyway, and that's what we're playing with today. No, they didn't send them to me for free. What a shame. I'm not reviewing them. There's no sponsorship, I just want to play with these colours. Now I had a few questions in my Facebook group about stencils. How do you layer the stencils on your gel prints and how do you stop your colours from getting muddy? So we're going to have a look at using some different colours, different stencils, what's the difference between a mask and a stencil, have a little play, create some fabulous prints and explore the different tips and tricks and techniques when it comes to Gelli printing. So I've opened my pack of 100 colours and I'm in love. I mean, look at the glorious range. What have we got here? Well, we have some fabulous white tones and yellow tones with some beautiful coral and red and warm tones. That's gonna work. I really like the way they're packaged all together in palettes like that. It's gonna make this really easy. We have some beautiful blues and some greens. And then we have some fabulous red into magenta, deep violets and into purple. Oh man, and some deeper Prussian blues there. This one we've got some earthy tones and some fluorescent colours. Not really my thing, but man, we'll give it a go. And then do we have some metallic? Yes, we have a whole glorious tray of metallic colours. Oh man, that's going to be so good. So what do you think? Are the little tubes worth $2? I'm thinking they're worth $2. And there's so many to choose from and they're so nicely presented in their colour palettes. And if you have a look at the back of the box, up the right way, it's going to say what the colours are on there. It's got a little colour swatch. Now, last time I did the review, I swatched out the colours, but I'm not swatching out 100 colours. That's not going to happen. I'm basically just going to wing it. We're going to have a play with some colours, see what works. It might go belly up. Does that really matter? No, I don't think so. But that's a pretty nice chart. Meh. We're just going to go for it and do some printing. Now these are my Dance Moves collections. These are stencils and these are masks. What is the difference, you're asking? Well, I'm going to tell you. The stencils are the shape that's cut out of this plastic or mylar. See, you can see on the black background here, that's what your paint color is going to be when you put it on the gel plate and pull the print, or when you wipe over it with paint with a palette knife, or when you do a rollover. There's so many ways to use stencils, it's endless. It's going to be the cutout section of that particular piece of plastic or mylar, and that's what you're going to see the paint come through. That's the stencil. Now the mask is the actual shape of what you're creating, and the paint goes around your shape. The mask masks out or stops the paint from going onto your paper. So your shape becomes the color of the paper or the print layer that's underneath. And when you're using the mask, you're putting the paint literally around the shape to form that particular image. It really is very simple. It's not complicated, even if I'm making it sound complicated. Now these dance moves, the stencils and masks, you'll find them at joggles.com, and Barb right now today has them on sale for the next few days, so have a look there if you want to purchase some of these, because they won't be on sale for very long, so you really need to jump in. Right, so let's have a look on the gel plate, the difference between the mask and the stencils with all of my beautiful colours. Right, so the easiest way is to put one colour on the plate. What shall we use? Oh man, there's so many beautiful colours to choose from. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. We've got a little bit of rose madder. Now, if this is too basic for you, it's because I'm doing a whole series on jelly printing basics, because I do get a lot of questions about very simple things, and that's why I'm starting with such simple techniques. So let's start with one of the beautiful colors, and I've got a little bit of rose madder on the plate. Look how beautiful that is. Now the easiest way for us to have a look at our stencils is to put the paint on the plate, put the stencil down and pull the print through the stencil. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, lovely colours, so much fun. Stenciled on the plate, oh man, it's on crooked. Oh well, you do get that. Paper down. We're just going to have a look at the beautiful stencil, how easy it is. There we go, a rub through those particular shapes that have been cut out of the molar, and it really could be any shape. There's thousands and thousands of possibilities for using stencils. With your jelly printing, it really is quite endless. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that colour straight off the plate like that. There's the particular shapes from my dance moves. They look glorious. Now, of course, we can print those shapes onto any coloured background, any type of paper. You could use a pre-painted print and print onto that, or you could use craft paper or scrapbooking paper or book pages. It's endless what you can use to put the stencils on. Now, what you're going to find under there is what we call the ghost print, and the ghost print is what's been left behind on the plate once we've pulled the first print. So we're just going to pick up all that paint with another piece. I'm using wet stretch tissue because it will pull it up really easy, really quick off the plate. Look at that, it's left a little line of the shape on the plate. How fun is that? So there it is. Then you've got the negative shape. Here's the positive shape. They both look beautiful. Easy peasy. First print. Now, to show you the difference between the mask, I'm going to use exactly the same paint and colour on the plate. I've pulled out my bigger plate, 12 by 14 inch, because I want to show you how it looks when the paint completely surrounds the mask. So the paint's down on the plate. There's my beautiful mask shape, and see how the paint is surrounding the mask on my bigger plate. That's a whole lot of fun. So when you pull the first print using a mask, you're going to be taking off all of the paint that is around the shape, and the ghost print that you leave is going to be the actual shape. It's pretty fun. There's so much you can do with such simple techniques. I think that's why I love jelly printing so much, because the possibilities are so endless, especially once you get into a bit of a frenzy. So that's the very first print, and it's leaving the shape of the mask on the plate with the paint around it. Putting that aside, we pull this off and we have the magnificent ghost print. Look how good that looks. It looks so good. Then we can pull that up with a piece of paper. Now, this has just been the basic step one difference between a mask and a stencil and how you can pull the very first print. Of course, now you can go crazy and you can put second layers on, second paint layers on, print them onto different papers. It really is so totally endless what you can do using stencils and masks, even just a few different shapes. Of course, you can make your own using different materials, and that's really fun as well. So straight off the plate again on this particular piece of paper. There you go, that's the beautiful shape of the mask there. That's the positive, there's the negative. It's endless, go crazy. Now this is one way that I love to use masks on the gel plate. I like to alternate the first print and the ghost print using two pieces of paper, put the paint on the plate, put the mask down, pull the first print, one piece of paper, then pull off the mask, you've got the ghost print, put the second piece of paper down, now you've got two pieces of paper. And I love to alternate the first print and the mask with the same pieces of paper. So I'm going to use three different colors. I'm probably going to use the colors in the tray that I'm using from Meaden because that's just a whole lot of fun, and I'm going to see how they look. Now I'm printing on the paper 3 times and the prints are mostly dry when I put them back on the plate because it's a thin layer, it's thin paint, they dry really fast and the colors are just beautiful. Every time you put the paper back on the plate and pull another print, it changes it entirely and it looks so different. Now if you want to, you could register your print, which means you could line it up perfectly so that it printed exactly on your paper. I'm not doing that because I'm having fun. I want to create collage paper, and registering it and making it all line up perfect is not something that I really want to spend the time doing. I just want to splash around with these beautiful colors. Now I'm choosing the paint colors out of the same tray because that's really fun. It's a little bit of Russian roulette. I don't really know exactly what the colors look like because I didn't take any swatches. But what's the worst that can happen? It can just look garbage. Who cares? It'll be fine. I'm pretty sure all these colors are going to work well together because looking at them in the tray, they look like they're pretty harmonious. I'm going from light to dark, and I'm just going to pull out the next one that I think might work really well on the plate. I'm alternating the prints so that the first print is then the second print, on the second print is the first print. You know what I mean? And I'm using wet strength tissue so the paper holds up with numerous printing. That's really important too. Right, so the next color, let's just choose one a little bit darker. How dark do we want to go? Orange, red? Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it? I'm thinking so. Let's go with that one. I'm also going to alternate the position of the same 2 stencils. I change them, they go this way, then they go that way. So it just creates different shapes on the paper in different ways. These paints are really nice. I mean, totally worth $2 a tube. They're actually beautiful. They're very buttery. They're easy to put on and they're coming off the plate really well with no problems at all. So that color's down. Let's go again. I forget which way we're up to. I think we're up to this way. Let's go a little more straighter that time. And we'll see how that looks. They're looking rather beautiful. I've forgotten which one needs which print, but does it matter? Nah, it'll be fine. Give it a good rub over, get all the paint from around the fabulous mask shape, and then we're away. I find these colors are really very happy. I think I'm going to do that again with a different tray of the colours. Oh, we should bust into the blues. That'll be fun. Righto, what did that create? I love how the paint's coming off the plate really easily. Look at that. That's beautiful. Do you think we need any more on it? Maybe we need a little bit of bronze. I'm thinking just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do it. Right, so this beautiful orange ghost print now goes on this one, and these prints are looking gorgeous. This is a really fun way to create multiple layers without getting your colours muddy and without making it too complicated. You're just printing a simple mask, one colour on the plate with a piece of paper. It's just that you're altering those papers and the prints and the masks, and it just adds a whole lot of fun to the mix. Yeah, baby, look at that. That looks fantastic. I love it. We're just going to do one more print on these in a gold or a bronze. I've got to find that metallic pack. Okay, so this is the metallic. This gel plate has a little bit of the ghost print left in the orange. I don't think that matters. I think we'll just run right over it. What about gold or bronze? Such decisions. I'm going gold. We're going with the gold from the metallic pack. Maybe we'll give it a wipe. Now, to me, my best friend when I'm jelly printing like this is the humble baby wipe. It just takes off any colour that you don't want there. I don't want the orange to mess up my beautiful gold, so we give it a bit of a wipe. It comes off very easy. Baby wipes are your best friend when you're jelly printing. That's what I think anyway. And then if it's still a little bit too mucky, I like to use the beautiful chucks. Don't know what it's called where you are, but in Australia and New Zealand, this is called a chucks. It's just a damp washcloth that you'd probably use in the kitchen. Right, how exciting. Let's go with the gold. Oh yeah, baby. That's going to be beautiful. Now, my plate is a little bit wet and slippery because I didn't dry it after I wiped all that other paint off, and my cloth was a bit wet, but it'll be all right. It'll be fine. Right, mask on. What way are we up to? I think we're up to this way. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've lost count of what I'm up to, which paper and which paper we're up to. Let's go with this one. We'll put the gold on. This should finish these prints rather beautifully, I think. And then I'm going to show you how we can do a pretty similar thing, but with a one print pull instead of altering our prints like this. Although this is actually one of my favorite techniques because it's fun, it's simple, and it's fast. You don't have to wait really for any drying time. That's what I like about this technique. Right, so we've got the beautiful gold on there. You should be able to see a little bit of the beautiful gold. Yes, I'm loving it. That's going to be just fine. We'll leave those prints alone now. So they've had 3 layers of colour and 1 of the gold, and they're pretty nice. They both look really different, even though they're exactly the same colours. With exactly the same masks, they just print so incredibly differently depending on if you're using the positive or the negative for the print. I know, it's really fun. All right, let's see if that one pulled up the gold. Yes, it did. It's beautiful. Got a lovely shiny little gold mask shape on it. You might not be able to overly see it because it's sitting on the yellow, but looks good. I'm loving them. What's next? Right, this time we're busting out the blues and greens pack. Man, I love having all these colours to play with. Should we put the paint on first? No, we won't. Let's put the stencil on first. It's lovely and pink from the Rose Madder. I'm going to put it on straight this time. There's an idea. Beautiful. And then I'm going to push some paint through the stencil onto the plate because that's going to give me the shapes directly onto the gel plate. So we put some on like this, roll it across. Now you are going to need a soft rubber tight brayer to be able to push that into the stencil to actually get the paint onto the gel plate. It's not too hard, but you do have to give it a little bit of a push to be able to get the brayer with the paint on it through that stencil mark. And sometimes it works better than others. Don't stress out if it didn't work exactly how you want the first time you tried it, because you do have to know how much pressure to push on that stencil. And then we lift it up, and ta-da, the beautiful shapes are on there, looking rather glorious. But the problem is with this technique, now we have to wait for these shapes to dry. That's always the problem. But when these shapes are dry, then we're going to roll over with another colour to pull the print. And while we're waiting for that plate to dry, we're going to continue with putting on some beautiful blues and greens. I rather like that colour. Peacock blue it's called. That's really nice. Let's have some more of that. Put it on the plate first, and then we're going to pull the stencil straight away onto a piece of paper. Man, those colours are just glorious. This is Stencils and Masks 101. If you just need a little bit of help to get your head around how to use these fabulous and versatile tools. I love it. You do have to experiment. You have to try different things. Your ideas don't always work, and that's okay. Now, this stencil is covered in paint, but that's okay. I'm putting it down anyway because we've got the same colours. It's going to work. And this time I've got this magnificent gold solid colour print. It's on the wet strength tissue. I'm voting that we just put that down and see how magnificent that's going to look with that beautiful blue colour. Giving it a good rub, getting that paint through from the stencil. Let's see how it looks. It looks amazing. Look how beautiful that looks with the blue on the gold colour. Yes, I'm loving it. That worked really well. And then we have, of course, the gorgeous ghost print. Now, again, we're going to wait for this plate to dry, and then we're going to pull it with another colour. Now, I have had questions on how long does it take to dry. Well, how long's a piece of string? It depends on where you live, what the weather's like. At the moment here in beautiful New Zealand, we're heading into winter, so it's rather chilly. It was 1 degree the other morning, and that's a little fresh. So it's taking a lot longer for the acrylic paint to dry. Also, depends how thick your acrylic paint is. I am heavy-handed with my paint. I am lavish in my application. Yes, I know. So my prints take a lot longer to dry because they are thicker. If you're more sensible and you're putting thin coats on your gel plate, then they'll be faster to dry. However, I do cheat and like to use my little fan because it just speeds things up and I don't have to wait as long. There's always a way. Right, so I would say that was 5 minutes with my little helper. It is a lot quicker with my fan, which makes me happy. Where's my roller? Now, what are we going to do? We're either going to put something darker or something lighter. Peacock blue is what we've used because, of course, we're using the blues and greens out of the same pack. We're either going to go with the ultramarine blue. Got no idea how this is going to look. That's pretty nice. That's a lot darker. Or we could go lighter with the Arctic blue. I'm feeling like, why don't we just put a little bit of, yeah, what the heck, that's going to look nice. Little bit of Arctic blue on the print and see how that looks. It's all blue. You can't fail. If you're using all the same colours, how could you possibly fail? Right, so it's that easy. You roll on the second colour once the first layer has dried, and then you're easy peasy. You can pull that up. Now I'm going to use my other favourite paper. showing you quick because, hello, I've got to get the paper on. It's the Japanese sketch pad paper. I really love this paper. It feels beautiful. Now, my gel plate is a 9 by 12 inch plate. At the moment, it's my absolute favorite. I had a 10 by 8 plate for 8 years, a really long time. It was great. I'm using the Gelli Arts plates. It served me well, but since I started using this particular paper on this with the sketch pad, the 9 by 12 size, it takes up the full width and length of the gel plate, so I like that. There's no wastage on the paper. I'm not having to cut things off the side, and that makes me happy. Now, you want to wait until your second layer is completely dry so it pulls off your first layer. I have been known to be a little impatient and pull that print up straight away, and then you leave half it on the plate, which makes an interesting ghost print, but if that's not what you want, then you want to wait for it to dry. Now, how long do you wait? Oh man, same question. Well, the more you create, the more you use your gel plate, the more instinctively you're just going to know these things. If it's no longer cold to touch, if you touch it and it doesn't feel damp, then it's dry. But you can do a little sneaky peek if you're worried. And at the end of the day, it's only paper and a bit of paint. If you missed it, didn't get it right, stuck on the plate, or it tore, meh, happens to all of us. And that's how you learn. Next time you'll wait a little bit longer for it to dry. Ooh, I had a little peek now on the side here. Look, 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 look. It's coming up, no problem. So let's just pull that print. I really like this paper because it's nice and sturdy. It handles all my lovin'. It pulls up the gel prints really beautifully. Looks, plate's clean. There's the print, Arctic blue with a little bit of, what was the first one? Peacock blue. It's just beautiful. Now, there's no reason why you couldn't add another stencil to this, or another print, or another layer, or mark making. It's endless what you can do with these prints. You don't have to stop here. I just wanted to show you the basics, so that if you're not used to using stencils and masks, you might get a little more brave. Okay, so now what are we going to do with this one? This was the ghost print that was left after we pulled the paint from the stencil through those marks. I'm thinking another one, blue or green? Should we get a little adventurous and try something in green? Why not, right? Why stop now? Oh no, that's a little bit too far. That's going over the edge. I don't think we're ready for that just yet. Let's go with a little bit of spring green. That will show through in the areas that are clear on the plate, which has been created from that stencil. Oh man, that's a scary color. It's a little bright. But it'll be all right. Now, as long as it's thick enough, have a look here. I didn't put enough paint on because it's not really covering all of that paint that's on the plate. And we need it to cover that paint on the plate because that's what's going to pull it up. You won't actually see this green because you're going to have the blue in front of it, but you need the green to act like a glue to stick to the paper to pull up the paint. That's better. You just need to have a little practice, have a play, and don't be scared to muck it up or get it wrong. It really doesn't matter. That's how you learn. Right. Paint down, paper down, away you go. Give it a good solid rub, and then when you feel like it's dry, have a little peek and see if it is. If it's not, push it back down again, give it a little rub, wait a few more minutes, and then pull it up. Whatever you put down first on your plate is what's going to be on top when you pull up that print. So that green, you won't see that green where the blue paint is because you're going to see the blue paint because it was put down first on the plate. You do have to think kind of a little backwards when you're planning your prints and you want something particular to be left on top. You have to put it down first. I know, but you do get used to it. All right, what do you think? What do you think? Are we there yet? It's coming up. The colour's a little scary. I'm not really a green person. But it does look like a whole lot of fun. You can see the colour coming through where the stencil was, and you can now understand how the blue paint is going to be on top because the green paint's behind it, but the green paint is what made it stick to the paper. That's what you need. Of course, there's so many variations on how to layer your prints and how to add the stencils and masks. It really is endless. You have to have a good play and experiment. Not all of your jelly prints are going to work perfectly, and that's how it goes for all of us. But you have to try, be adventurous, and remember to wait between your layers before you put the next layers on. Then your colors won't go to mud. And don't forget, when you want to pull up the last print, to make sure it's got a good covering of paint, because that's the glue that's going to stick all those layers to the paper. So what about a 3-layered print? Well, it's the same process for as many layers as you want to add. So you got to think about, what do you want on top? So if I want my fabulous little dance moves to be sitting on the top, once the print is pulled, then they have to be put first on the plate. So let's go with another one of these fabulous trays. I am loving this so much. Let's go with this one. It's got some earthy tones and some, no, not the fluorescent. Let's go with, ooh, cocoa brown. Now, what do we want them to look like? We want them to be on top, and we want them to be fairly dark so we can get a little crazy with our backgrounds. Okay, so let's go with some Mars brown. We'll put these shapes on the plate with the Mars brown, and then we'll use some of the other colors that are in the same tray, because this is just fun. On the plate they go, beautiful little dance moves, shapes. Yay team, looking good. Maybe we might have to add some metallics to this one. You never know. Give it a good roll to get the fabulous shapes on the plate. Pull off the stencil, and yes, you do have to wait for those little shapes to dry, but it's only 5 minutes, it won't take long. Right, so the first layer is dry, the little dance moves are happy. Let's use the masks and mask out some of the background in some different colors. That'll be fun. We're using the same palette of colors, so which one am I pulling out? Oh man, it's Russian roulette with the colors, man. I don't know what I'm pulling out. Ooh, yellow oxide. That'll be all right. We'll put a little bit of that there. What about some Mars orange as well? Okay, let's add a bit of Mars orange. Is it really that orange on Mars? I don't know, man. So the mask is going to stop the paint from being in certain places on the gel plate, and other places are going to have the fabulous colors. And this is just going to create different shapes, different mark making, a whole lot of fun, very experimental, and it's really fun to do. Right, so that's down, the masks are off, and what shapes have we got left there? You can see all of the in-between spaces on the plate are going to be filled up with the next colour, and that's fun. That one didn't take very long because it's quite a thin layer, so what are we going to do? Well, let's do it again. We wanted to create 3 layers, right? I just got to make sure I don't put them in the same spot because that's no good. That wouldn't be very fun. Let's go back this way. Okay, we'll go this way on the plate because that's going to make different shapes with different colors. And let's go with the cocoa brown. What's that going to look like? I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, it's quite nice. It's a lot lighter in colour, so that's going to work. So all of these colours that I've put on this particular print are all opaque. So each time I'm putting them on, it's covering up areas using the masks. And because they're all opaque colours, that's going to really cover what shape was there beforehand. But remember, you're going to see the colours that were on the plate first. I know, but it is a whole lot of fun. That cocoa brown was quite a nice colour, very opaque colour. Look how much that's covered. But then we do our ta-da, and move the masks, and you can see how much is left on the gel plate. And that is just a whole lot of fun. Now that's going to dry, and then when I pull the print, the colour that I pull it with will go in between all of those spaces and shapes. Now my gel plate is sitting on an acrylic chopping board that I bought from Temu because I do a lot of printing and I have to wait for the different techniques to dry. I like to move them off out of the way and keep working because you don't really want to wait that long. But also the benefit is, besides the fact that you can move it around, you can also flip it over and see how we're doing. How are we doing with our print? Do we like the colours? Are they working? They're all right. The shapes are looking pretty good. Looks pretty jungle to me. So I'm going to definitely put one of the metallic colours. Let's have a look at the metallic bronze. Put that on because that's going to work with all those different earthy tones. Right, we just have to wait for this layer to dry and then we'll pull that print with, yes, I think the sketch paper. It's nice and thick. Sucks up all that paint and it should look rather beautiful. And off the plate she comes with that beautiful metallic bronze. Now, looking at the print, it did pull a little on the plate here because I was impatient. I know you find that hard to believe, and it got stuck a little on the plate because I didn't wait for it to dry. So if you're pulling your print up, it's not coming off, it's stuck on your plate, just wait. Put it back down, give it a little rub and wait a few more minutes until it's actually dry, because when the paint is dry on the plate, it pulls up really easily. But don't freak out if you do that, because that's part of the process. You have to learn, and a little bit of oopsies doesn't really matter. Just get a little bit of paint. Look at that. Little bit of touch up on the print. It's all fine in the end. It's just a little... What tear? I didn't get impatient and pull it off the plate too quickly. Nah, that wouldn't be me. Look at the print. Absolutely beautiful. Now in this print you can see all of the glorious layers of the particular masks and the shapes they'd made from the colours that I put on. The strongest, darkest colour is the first print that we put down with the dance move shapes in the brown, and then therefore it's going to be sitting on top and the other colours are sitting behind it, but they're cutting through them and not overpowering them because the other colours I put on were lighter. I pulled it with the metallic bronze and I think it's rather beautiful. It worked out really well. You could do this kind of technique with any of the colour schemes, especially if they come already in a packet of beautiful colours. Man, it's been so much fun using these 100 colours from Meeden. I absolutely love this set. Sitting here jelly printing like this, print after print after print, is really so easy when you've got the palettes already packaged together. I know, maybe I'm cheating, but it's been a whole lot of fun. Thanks for joining me today. I absolutely loved using these paints. I loved the process of using the stencils and the masks and trying the different papers. I have a glorious range of fabulous prints now. Which they'll probably end up in next month's inspiration packs for my patrons. Yay, that works really well. Now don't forget, Joggles has a massive sale on this week of my fabulous dance move stencils and masks. Have a look here at joggles.com. You can always find more information in the description under the video. There's also links there to this fabulous 100 set of Meeden paints. I really like them. They're not not for everybody, but today I had an absolutely fabulous time. Don't forget, you can also find out more on my website at froyalart.com, and I'll see you next time in the studio.